And who is that?
Terence Crawford. That's it. You know, I'm 41-0 for a reason. You gotta have 4 arms.
I know. I know.
And 6 eyes.
Our job is to line it up. And us fighters, we're warriors. We always want to fight the best.
Floyd Mayweather has issued a firm warning to Terence Crawford after all the debate about who would win between them. Floyd made it very clear that this warning is really a reminder not to chase something that was never going to happen. According to him, Crawford is chasing a ghost, because the Mayweather who ruled boxing walked away on his own terms, and he's not letting anyone rewrite the story he already closed.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
Floyd told Stephen A. Smith that boxing is never just about who looks stronger right now. It's about who owned the spotlight when the moment counted. And from Floyd's perspective, Crawford hitting his mid-30s is simply too late to bring up a fight that only mattered back when it would have broken records.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
That message dropped right in the middle of a fiery debate on Stephen A. Smith's platform, where Floyd sat directly across from Crawford in a rare face-to-face exchange that grabbed the entire boxing world's attention. Floyd stayed calm, but every word carried weight. He basically told Crawford, "Win all you want. Beat the guys I never fought. It still won't change my chapter in boxing." With that, he reminded everyone that his era is sealed in history, while also taking a jab at Crawford for showing up too late for any in-ring showdown.
I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose because now society has shaped things to where if a fighter lose, they talk so bad about, oh, he's a bum. I knew he was overrated. Oh, y'all hyped him up, and now they gotta hear it. But back in the day, they didn't have social media. You know what I mean? So all that wasn't in their face.
But this conversation isn't just about two fighters throwing subtle shots. It's about how fans, fighters, and analysts are dividing themselves on the debate. Even active fighters like Ryan Garcia have tossed in their opinions. Garcia, who never hesitates to speak his mind, had some strong words for Floyd during Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring. When LaShawn McCoy said nobody impacted boxing like Mayweather, Garcia instantly cut in a bad way. He argued that Floyd didn't just master the sport, he mastered timing. Garcia accused him of choosing opponents when it benefited him, waiting until names like Pacquiao or Cotto were past their highest peak. He never fought anybody really in their prime, after junior lightweight, Garcia said, claiming Floyd's perfect record came more from perfect matchmaking than perfect fighting. And to Garcia, that's where boxing started heading downhill, because after Floyd, fighters cared more about protecting the zero than taking the hardest fights.
Everybody acting like Bud is the second coming of Mayweather. Y'all got the game fucked up. Mayweather actually didn't get hit. Bud gets hit by dudes that, like, who on Bud's resume is an equivalent of someone on Floyd's resume? So that's it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd not getting hit by elites, Bud getting hit by non-elites, and somehow y'all think Canelo not about to touch him.
That's where Max Kellerman added his perspective. Known as one of boxing's sharpest analysts, Kellerman explained why some people believe Crawford might actually have a stronger legacy argument, depending on how you view it. Floyd picked the timing of his fights once he left lightweight, Kellerman said. So even though Floyd's resume is filled with big names, people remember that he avoided certain opponents at certain moments. Crawford, on the other hand, despite having a thinner resume, gave the impression that he wanted everyone at any time. And to fans, that matters.
Floyd versus Triple G. Listen, man, Floyd didn't fight him, and Floyd is an all-time great. But what a missed opportunity. You got Crawford going from 135 and talking about fighting Canelo at 168. It's kind of the same.
And that's the core argument, resume versus intention. Mayweather's resume is loaded, De La Hoya, Pacquiao, Cotto, Hatton, Marquez, Mosley, Gatti, Corrales, and more. But critics like Garcia and Kellerman argue that the timing of those fights dims the shine. Pacquiao wasn't the same by 2015. Mosley was 38 and coming off a long break. Cotto had taken years of damage. And Canelo was dragged to a catchweight when he was just 23. Yes, Floyd won all of them, but for certain critics, the asterisks remain.
Looking back at like Floyd's career, like him coming up in the era that he came up in, he had all them champions that he was able to fight, and that's what led him to be so great. You know, because he fought the most champions, beat the most champions. You know, got the most money for beating the most champions. So it's just like, man, he had this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
On the other hand, Crawford's list of opponents may not be as long, but his approach is different. He never cared about timing. He fought Shawn Porter when Porter was still a problem for anyone. He dismantled Errol Spence at age 35. And he shocked the boxing world by handling Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. Crawford's issue was never avoiding fights, his issue was that promoters and networks avoided him. As a high-risk, low-reward fighter under top rank, he waited years for big names that never showed up. By the time he finally got the Spence fight, he was already deep into his 30s.
We already know, we knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed? Or
Today, at 38 years old, Crawford is undefeated at 42-0, with undisputed titles in 3 divisions and a list of victories that includes Gamboa, Postal, Jeff Horn, Porter, Spence, and Alvarez. But compared to Floyd's 50 wins, the numbers still tilt toward Mayweather. 8 fewer wins might not sound huge, but legacy debates are fueled by numbers. Still, Crawford has one advantage Floyd never tapped into: he's pushing into a 6th weight class. If he drops to middleweight and grabs a belt, he'll do something Floyd never attempted. Floyd stopped at junior middleweight. And although he made history there, he didn't chase 6 divisions. Crawford's hunger to keep challenging himself might be the one factor that shifts the conversation.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming, and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
Ooh. Their timelines also add another layer. Crawford captured his first world title in 2014, a year before Floyd fought Pacquiao and later Andre Berto to end his run. The overlap was small, but it existed. Had Floyd stuck around, the fight could have happened. But by then, Mayweather was defending his legacy from outside the ring, not entering new challenges inside it. And that's what Floyd was really saying on Stephen F. Smith's show, Don't Ask Me Now. If it was going to happen, it would have been when the hype and money were at their peak. That moment has passed, and so have the what-ifs. Crawford's wins today don't rewind Floyd's retirement clock.
Funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out. Yeah,
you know? Yeah, that's true. But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody else? Yeah.
There's an OG
Somebody
gotta
pioneer,
right? Yeah, you gotta. There's an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere, and I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
Still, fans can't help imagining the matchup. Mayweather at 147 was a defensive genius, nearly unhittable and able to break down opponents over 12 rounds. He went 12-0 at welterweight from age 28 to 38, owning that division for a decade. Crawford at 147 was more destructive, switch-hitting, powerful, aggressive, and naturally mean inside the ring. He went 8-0 in 5 years, stopping most opponents brutally. He's taller, longer, and more versatile with his stances and styles.
But were you surprised that, Crawford wasn't running from him? He was, he was very confident that he could stand there and trade, a lot of times with Canelo.
Crawford fought a brilliant fight. He fought a brilliant fight. He stayed at the right range. he didn't engage with Canelo when Canelo was trying to get him to engage with him. And he took control of the fight. He did what he wanted when he wanted to do it.
In a fantasy matchup, Crawford's size and pressure would have tested Floyd's defense in ways very few opponents ever did. Some fans compare it to Paul Williams, who was tall, busy, and considered a nightmare style for Floyd, one reason that fight never materialized. Add Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight and his southpaw knockout power, and many believe Floyd would have finally faced a real threat to his unbeaten record.
Since Bud's so strong, that's what I said. Why are you talking about 54? None of them dudes gonna get you up. If you truly beat Canelo, why not be the greatest fighter in the existence of boxing? Like, Bivol was the only dude to beat 2 undisputed active champions. Like, he beat Canelo as an undisputed champion, and he beat Better Beef as an undisputed champion. Bivol, historically, might go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. If you beat Bivol and you beat Canelo, I mean, Crawford might have surpassed TBE in.
But Floyd's supporters argue otherwise. They say his style was built to shut down aggressive fighters. Floyd wasn't just slick, he was efficient. He didn't need to throw 70 punches around. He only needed to land the smartest 25 and make you miss 50. Against Crawford, who thrives on switching pace and rhythm, Floyd may have found ways to frustrate him just like he frustrated Canelo in 2013 or smothered Ricky Hatton in 2007. There's also the question of star power. Floyd was the pay-per-view king, the fighter who owned entire weekends when he stepped into the ring. Crawford, despite his greatness, never reached that level of control. And in boxing, controlling the stage matters just as much as controlling the fight. But if this fight ever happened, who do you think walks away with the win? Drop your pick in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.